Now let's turn to our big story. It was another violent weekend. Since Friday night, the greater Portland has had 5 shootings, 2 stabbings, 1 armed robbery. And yes, Vancouver, I know your area also had 2 drive-by shootings over the weekend. It's a terrible trend, one that we decided to ask the leading candidates for governor about in Oregon. Now, I know the Oregon governor is not the police chief or sheriff, but they can have a lot of influence when it comes to funding for anti-violence programs and for backing up the police. Tonight, you're going to hear from the top 2 Democrats, Tobias Reid and Tina Kotek. They have very different approaches when I asked them what they would do to help stop the violence. We have edited some of the answers down for time, but we will be posting the entire interview on our YouTube page this week, and you should go watch the whole thing for yourself. In the meantime, first up, Tina Kotek, who pointed to her work in the legislature to help pay for community violence prevention and intervention.
Well, one of the things that I worked on before I left the legislature a couple weeks ago was put together a bill for community violence intervention and prevention. The federal government is saying we would like to use Medicaid dollars to pay for this type of case management to help families. If you're involved in a shooting, for example, and you're in a hospital bed, getting trained individuals from your community to talk with you about, okay, what happened? How do we break that cycle of violence? So this legislative session, I think that bill will get funded, and it will provide services not only in Portland but in other places to help people break that cycle of violence. And I think that's where we go. That's what really important, to help. There is too much violence out there and people are hurting, so we have to help them when they need it at the right time.
By the way, we did check, and nearly every Democrat and every Republican voted for the bill she mentioned. It's waiting now for the governor's signature. So, Kotek seemed most focused on going upstream to stop the violence before it begins, but did not say that much in terms of stopping the current violence. Tobias Reid, also a Democrat, had a very different answer to the same question. He did focus on the immediate issue.
I think we have to be on offense in this respect. We have to ban ghost guns, the untraceable firearms that are an increasing problem. I think we have to hold parents accountable if their weapons are used by their children to commit a crime. I think we need more officers on the street who are trained to go after gun violence and people who are dealing illegally in firearms. We can do this. If we are willing to fund those violence, anti-violence programs that have not been funded adequately in recent years. And it's not okay to get acclimated to this increasing level of violence. The numbers are striking and alarming.
I also asked both candidates if they would use state money to help bolster Portland police. Reid said he would definitely consider it. Kotek didn't really answer the question directly, but she said she is glad the city is expanding Portland's street response, which sends mental health experts, not police, to people who are having a mental health crisis. Tomorrow night, we'll hear from the leading Republicans, Dr. Bud Pierce and Christine Drazen.